So hello, welcome to this week's vlog. To kind of continue on the series of talking about British Airways, this week I'm going to talk about why I left British Airways. If you want to see the other videos of the recruitment process and the best experience I had at BA, those links are going to be down there in the description somewhere below. So yeah, this week's vlog is more talking about why I left BA and the reasons behind it. So might as well get right into it. So first of all, the pay at British Airways. When I applied, it was advertised at being about £21,000 to £27,000 per year. It never worked out to be that much. I know some crew who have taken home that much by not spending their allowances down route and that kind of thing, and working their wages out and being really restricted with cash. If I was like that, then probably yes, it would have been about the same, but I think I ended the year with a total of about £14,000 after tax, so it wasn't quite what they advertised to me. So one of the worst things at BA was the roster stability. So if you had 30 days in the month, for example, you'd only find out the following month 10 days before the last day of the month. Quite confusing, but say it was 30 days in a month, on the 20th of that month you'll find out your next month's roster. So at some points you had 10 days notice before working out if you want a day off or where you were going or what you could actually do. If you had an event, a family birthday, I had a christening that I missed, my niece's christening, I missed that because I was on my way to Dubai and I couldn't get the leave off. So that was one of the worst things I think about BA, and it was trying to figure out your home life, personal life, social life and your work life at the same time. So me and Dan, for example, having days off together was very rare. It'd be the odd evening every now and again. Living our relationship through FaceTime, that was quite hard. Thank God FaceTime was there, because I don't know what we'd have done if it wasn't there. And also trying to work out, like, planning things to do with my mum or seeing my family. I never had that stability of being able to do that while I was at BA. And also the commute, that was quite hard for me because it was M1, M25 and then Heathrow. It's like the worst roads you could ever want. So if you had a 10 o'clock book on, for example, I'd have to leave mine 5 hours before work just in case there was a crash on the M1 or the M25 was its usual busy self. So that was always kind of hard to factor into that, and just to enjoy myself a bit more at home before going to work and separate myself from that. So although I am being really negative about the experience, there were a lot of advantages. You got to see the world. That's something I've always wanted to do, but never had the ability to, mainly because of finances. And it's hard if you want to just quit what you're doing and travel the world. You need that money, you need that financial support. But at British Airways, it gave you that ability to go somewhere, whether it was a US city or Johannesburg, Sydney, Dubai. So many places I've seen that I would never have been able to see in my life had it not been for that experience. Yes, the money wasn't great and the allowances weren't great, but we were still able to do what we wanted to do down route. And that kind of factors into a disadvantage with your easy access to money. So by getting money out at a hotel reception, you've kind of taken away the fact that that's your money. It feels like free money. I know it's not, I don't really know how to describe it, but it feels like it's free money. So you just kind of take it out and you go, oh yes, I'll go to water park. So I'd done that in Dubai, that was £60, and I went to a water park with two people on that trip that I don't know the names of now. Whereas you think if I was on holiday, I'd have saved for that and I'd have done that on holiday with people that I love and I want to be with, but you kind of forget that you're not on holiday when you're at work. You're on a trip with people and you do these expensive things and you get home and you think, oh my God, I've got no money left for food. I've got to get petrol this week. And yeah, you're taken away by that fact that what you spent abroad is actually your income when you get home. The social life with the crew depends on the trip you go to. For example, Singapore, Sydney, again, that was a 6-day trip. So you do get a really close bond with these people, and I've got so many friends now that I still talk to from my first trip to Singapore and still meet up with. And one of my friends from training, still meet up with her, and she's one of my closest friends. And we always have a laugh and a good get together. So I do miss the social aspect of what I had, but I am glad I've come away with these close friendships that I still have now. So one of the biggest disadvantages I found was the inconsistent pay. So depending on what route you've done, what flights you've done, how many hours you were away from Heathrow was dependent on your wage. So while I was there, we was paid £3 per hour for every hour we were at work, and that was our allowances. So even if you go to Singapore for 7 days, you're paid £3 an hour for 7 days. So it did work out as a good salary depending on your trips. However, if you went to Paris and back, that's a 50-minute flight. So the way there, the aircraft was cleaned, you get back, say 6 to 9 hours work, you got £3 an hour for that, and that was your day's allowance. So although that all builds up into your salary, depending on what you get, it can be really poor and can really take an impact on what your end of month salary was. But don't forget as well, you do get a basic pay in there. So your basic pay, I think, is about £1,200 a month before tax. So that's your basic pay, and your allowances go on top to spend en route or to take home if you don't spend them. While I was there, the morale was really low. We was going through paid negotiations and discussions at the time, and I know there was a lot of back and forth from the CEO and the company and ourselves, and Unite the Union were getting involved, and they agreed to go on to strike. I actually left before the strike happened, so I wasn't involved in that aspect of it. But yeah, the morale from the staff was getting quite low. No one really wanted to be there, and everyone just wanted to change. And of course, the other disadvantage was the unsociable hours. And I knew I was signing up for that when I started. I mean, long haul flights have always been unsociable hours, but it does take a toll on you, especially with your home life, like I mentioned earlier. So I just wanted a bit of a change from that. So I found a job local to where I am now, and instead of being on planes, I'm now on the trains. And yes, it's still unsociable hours, but the money's better, and I'm still home every night and getting to enjoy that mixture of work life, social life and personal life, while still having those unsociable hours behind me. So my last trip, ironically, was also Chicago. So I started my long haul experience with BA with Chicago in the spring, and come December, so winter, I was in Chicago. It had to be the coldest experiences of my life. It was about -25, I think, degrees Celsius, which I think is about the same in Fahrenheit, if I get those calculations right. I don't really know. But yeah, it was -25 degrees Celsius, and it was bitterly cold. And all I packed with me was a t-shirt and a hoodie. And I had to walk up the street in a t-shirt, a hoodie and a scarf. And in a way, it was really nice to get that kind of circle of that's where I started my journey with BA, and that's also where I ended it. And after that, I have kind of fallen in love with Chicago, and I do really want to go back. But I forgot another disadvantage that I forgot to mention: sunburn. No matter where I went, unless it was raining or snowing, I always end up with sunburn. And again, I just put sun cream on. That didn't matter. In Singapore, factor 50, it wouldn't matter. I'd still go back to my hotel room pink. So that's probably my biggest disadvantage there, just kind of thrown in at the last minute. So would I ever go back to BA? Not necessarily BA. I would go back to flying. I do miss flying, but where I am now, I'm really happy. The money's better, time off's better, and I'm just enjoying being myself and being at home more as well. So I'm actually really happy where I am at the moment. So that's kind of basically a roundup of my experiences there for the whole process of BA. So I do hope you enjoyed the videos and this little kind of series we've done on BA. If you like them, give us a thumbs up. Type in a comment below if you've got any questions, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.